What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hops Geek News, your home for comic books, movies, TV shows, and we typically feature a beer of the week. I'm Matt. With me, as always, is Lauren, and today we got your Stranger Things recap. The final season is getting ready to kick off here on Thanksgiving, and it's going to wrap up on New Year's night, and it's been a long time in the making. It's been like 10 years and we've got 5. It's so few and far between that, we had to go back or rewatch. And I know that if we couldn't remember, a lot of people are probably scratching their heads like, what the heck happened? So first things first, like, subscribe, share, follow anywhere that you can find us on podcasting platforms and social media platforms. My beer of the week comes from Treehouse Brewing. It is called Wafflenanner, of course. It is delicious. It's a nice IPA and all that good stuff, a double IPA, if you will, but wicked delicious from Treehouse Brewing. Lauren, what's up? What are you drinking over there? We're going to go a little faster through opening segments because this episode's going to be kind of long. We're going to swiftly recap the first 3 seasons and then really dive into season 4 to refresh your memories. So, yes.
And season 4 was longer than you realize because those episodes are long. So I have in season 2, Dustin's cat was eaten by a demodog. So this beer goes out to Dustin's cat. This is a double New England IPA called Bones and Domino from Caluso Brewing. Caluso Brewing has like some brewery cats that kind of hang out around the brewery, and that's what this is. And I got it in a cute little Calusa glass where they got like weapons like they made in season 4. Weapons. So that's what I'm drinking. I have another beer on deck specifically for season 4, but I'm not gonna say what it is yet.
This was brewed with maple syrup and bananas. So like when I poured it, by the way, I forgot because I drank it in the brewery and I didn't remember smelling bananas, but I got a really strong banana smell. And I was sitting there like, wow, that smells really good. It smells like a Laffy Tap. It does taste really good though, but Treehouse always knocks out of the park, and it's waffles for L. Come on. But we do go into what we've been reading or watching, some news and main topics. So starting off with some quick, what we've been reading and watching. Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe, issue number 5. What can I say, except for the fact that, Gary Dugan, Javier Garron, Cy Tronk, Jesus Abertov, and Travis Lanham, they do some really amazing things, but not only that, but the final couple pages will blow your effing mind. It was absolutely incredible what they did in this final issue and set up more from this. Can't even begin to describe. I'm not going to spoil it. Absolute Flash issue 9 from Jeff Lemire, Nick Robles, and Adriano Lucas. This is really starting to find and hit its stride with its story. It was kind of slower to start out with, but I've really gotten into it lately, and I'm really digging what's going on. Wally's with the Rogues, and Dr. Thon's being an a-hole. And need I say more than that? Ben Percy, by the way, I cannot praise this guy enough either, because what Ben Percy and Marcelo Ferreira, Daniel Picciotto, and Frank Darmada are doing in Predator Kills the Marvel Universe. Wow. There's a lot of cool moments with Nightcrawler and Wolverine in this particular issue that really had me popping. And then I did Punisher Red Band, issue number 3. That was also from Benjamin Percy. And then my final one, I had to get this cover. I got the hot dog Coney Island cover of Harley Quinn and Hulk, but this is Batman Deadpool number 1. And there's a lot of good stories. So Grant Morrison and Dan Mora, Alejandro Sanchez, and Todd Klein did the main story. Fantastic. A lot of really good fourth wall breaking in this. Really, really awesome. But then you get these other stories between, Scott Snyder and James Tynion teamed up. They had Doctor Strange and Constantine meeting, Ghost Rider and Swamp Thing, Laura Kinney and Nightwing were meeting, Hulk and Harley Quinn it was just in Miss Marvel and Static, and they had a little bit of like teenage romance going. It was awesome. This book was freaking rad, and it was so damn good, and it's really, really worth reading. And I love this cover because I love hot dogs. And then aside from that, though, I didn't really watch too much, I don't think. I saw Predator Badlands, which was amazing. Since we last kind of talked, I did see Predator Badlands. It might be my favorite Predator film because of the fact that we really dive into the lore of the Yautja. This is focused around the Yautja. And then Elle Fanning is a really great actress. She plays a couple characters in this movie, and they really start to cross over the Weyland-Yutani alien universe. And then aside from that, I did watch Twisted Metal season 2 on Peacock. It got renewed for season 3. Spoilers for the news, but I really enjoy the show, man.
That's a spoiler. I think you're good.
I know. I'm just saying spoilers for the news, but Anthony Mackie does a really good job. He's super fun in this show. Right, and then the dude, I can't remember his name, but he played Metamorpho in Superman. And then he also was in Barry. He's in this as a bad guy, and he's really awesome. Wow, such a good. I can't believe that I forgot his name off the top of my head. I apologize for that. But Twisted Metal season 2 was really good, really worth the watch. Can't wait for season 3. Aside from that, man, I watched a Hallmark movie, but that one wasn't worth talking about this week. So
I watched Running Man. That was good.
I did. Oh God, I did see Running Man. I really enjoyed it. I don't really remember the original, but
I remember the original being bad.
I don't want to spoil it yet.
No, I want to read it too.
And I really kind of want to go in depth and kind of do an episode, maybe talking about the original, maybe the book if you read it, and then this one.
And didn't Forrest, I haven't read the article because I kind of want to read the book, but Forrest from Nerd Initiative actually wrote an article comparing the movies and the book. So if you are interested in that, head to nerdinitiative.com.
Yeah. And also my boy Chris wrote his review on it, but I spoiler, Glenn Powell, I kind of have a man crush on him. I really like him. Josh Brolin's veneers distracted me every time he was on screen. Coleman Domingo, incredible in this movie. A lot of action, really fast paced. And I really dug this movie a lot. It was a lot of freaking fun, man.
So one comic we both read and reviewed together was Armored. So Armored, yes. There's a new issue of Armored out by Michael Schwartz, friend of the podcast, awesome dude. This is a great comic, and it's like kid friendly too. So it's like a good introduction, I feel like, to like Logan keeps wanting to watch all the horror movies. He wants to watch it.
Oliver thinks he's ready for those two, and I don't think he is. But this might be a good intro for both boys.
Exactly. Armored, I think, is a great one. It's got zombies, it's got ghosts, but it's also still a good story. So it's good for adults as well. But like the horror doesn't get turn your head away. So
no, it's like a Goosebumps, except for less scary, I guess.
Yeah, and more filled out story, maybe.
Yeah, Michael Schwartz, our friend over there, is doing an incredible job with Clover Press, and this is issue 6. I highly recommend checking out the first trade. It's really good, man. I will tell you right now, it's really good.
And Minor Threats, The Last Devil Left Alive, number 2 came out. That is from the Minor Threats world. I'm loving it. I gave that a 10 out of 10. This world is amazing. It is hilarious. It has heart.
And Oswald was sharing your review left and right too. No big deal.
Well, it's a fantastic comic, and I feel like not too many people must be sleeping on it because they keep making this world bigger and bigger. But the bigger they make it, the more I like it.
It's sold out in my comic store. I went to actually pick this issue up and actually buy it. It's sold out. Yeah.
Oh, nice. See, I have random ones, but I want them all in trades because that's when they look the prettiest. So it's like I want to wait until it's in trade, but I ended up getting Barfly in the single issues. Nice. But what I would love to do is buy them at the cons and get them signed.
I would love if they go to MegaCon.
But this one, so if you've been reading Minor Threats, then you're going to have a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio moments. A lot of characters from other comics show up in this. If you haven't read any of those, you're not going to be lost at all because it's not necessary. It's kind of one of those things like you can enjoy this by itself, but you're going to enjoy it more if you read everything just because you're going to have those aha moments. And I did the Spider-Man holiday special. Super freaking cute, but do not read it if you have any children that still cling on to the magic of Christmas and you're working hard to maintain that because they did say something that I was not okay with.
To me, man.
I won't even of all the things I will say on this podcast, all the times I've cursed on this podcast, that is one thing I will never, never, never do. So beware of that. Fantastic comic, beautiful art, but beware of that. I gave it an 8.5 because of that. Otherwise, I would have given it a 9.
Interesting. So, all right. Well, it's still a good book, but like,
absolutely,
dang, that sucks, man. Yeah.
When I caught up on some Absolute Flash, and I didn't read the newest one because it just.
The newest one's really good. It's really picking up. Yeah. So I recommend.
Read the first. What was it? This first 8 issues I read this weekend, and I didn't realize it was going to be all Wally West, so that was cool.
Yeah.
All this Absolute stuff is just so different.
This coming week, Absolute Batman and Bane go head to head and finish up their little storyline, and I have read it. I'm not going to spoil it because I can't, first of all, and I'm not going to spoil it yet. But all I have to say is, this fight is effing insane, and Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta just continuously. I don't know how they do it, man, but this gets freaking insane. And then the next issue starts Joker, and then I believe in December, Wonder Woman and Batman in the Absolute World have a crossover comic coming out right before Christmas. So, I want to say now that this arc kind of ends on this one, you can probably expect the second volume of the second trade to be out probably by Christmas with how fast they're pushing these trades out to catch up on.
I just saw your thing, waffles are love, and mine says Hellfire is a
satanic cult. And this beer just smells like a Laffy Taffy, but it's not banana forward, and I can't get enough of this. I hope I have another one in my fridge.
Nice. Are we already almost at 10 minutes? We're doing a terrible job going through this fast.
Oh God, right news.
Yeah. Well, I also reviewed Phasma, fantastic.
Oh my gosh,
she just keeps Star Wars.
Yeah, how was it?
It was good. I liked it.
How Phasma returned.
On nerdinitiative.com. But yes, we can go on to news.
All right. So Toy Story 5 will be out June 19th, 2026, 31 years after the first one. Somehow Woody's return. I haven't watched the trailer. I kind of don't want to.
I haven't either.
Honestly, I'm going to be honest because I have preconceived notions most of the time if it's a movie that I'm familiar with, that I'm going to watch it.
Oh, I'm definitely going to watch this Toy Story.
I am too. So if it's a franchise that I know that I'm going to watch, then yeah, I'm not going to watch the trailer probably. But
I've been watching it for 31 years.
Dogma is finally going to be available December 9th. Oh my gosh. Thank Buddy Christ. Hey, look at us. And then Marvel is working on a follow-up to Werewolf by Night, finally, with Michael Giacchio. I can never pronounce his last name right. He's going to be back directing. I cannot wait. And then I'm going to segue because this isn't in the document, but as of today, it has been announced that Frank Castle Punisher will not be in Daredevil Born Again season 2.
I'm okay with that. He's getting his own spinoff as long as we're getting more of him. I'm okay with it. Everybody doesn't have to be in everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. So what else do we got?
Bring back Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, and we're fine. We're good. V for Vendetta series is coming to HBO, and a Jimmy Olsen series is coming to HBO. Is that really happening?
Apparently that got confirmed by James Gunn that it is not accurate. That's not true.
Oh, I thought he was saying it wasn't accurate as to how it was being described.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe I misread that.
Oh, so stay tuned next week after we deep dive into some research to find out if this is accurate. You know what HBO did confirm? Task. They're doing a second season of Task.
I didn't watch season 1 though.
I did watch it actually. Ski recommended it, and
Sean's been telling me it's good.
So my husband did.
Sean.
Oh, that's right. I was like, my husband didn't watch it.
No, Sean.
So your husband. So yeah, I'm excited for that. It just says Mark Ruffalo will be in season 2, but season 1 is actually Ward from Iron Fist is one of the main characters. He's a fantastic actor. I feel like that guy's underrated. I thought as much as I hated him in Iron Fist, I thought he did a good job of making me hate him. And then his character actually did flush out a little bit and he started to make me hate him less. And then the show ended. But he's really good in this. I really liked him in this. It was a really fantastic story.
Feel like Mark Ruffalo just is always a cop if he's not playing,
Oh, he's an alcoholic cop too, so he's really going.
Well, yeah, he's always a cop. If he's not Bruce Banner, he's a cop. He's no longer the heartthrob like Jennifer, or opposite Jennifer Garner.
And I think they might have given him a fake tummy because he looked very out of shape, and I feel like he can't be that out of shape when he's still Bruce Banner. But his story is honestly tragic, and I did not see it coming. Like, something terrible happened to him, but you don't know what. So I do recommend watching that. Season 1, I was surprised when I heard there was a season 2. So I don't know how much it's going to be correlated to season 1 because they kind of wrapped stuff up.
I don't have HBO Max now. They stopped password sharing. So yeah.
Great show. Check it out.
Gremlins 3 is going to release November 19th, 2027. 2027, big year for movies, folks. And Chris Columbus will be back to direct.
We'll be directing. Chris Columbus.
And then aside from that, also, it did just get announced that Lanterns is going to be releasing at the end of summer 2026. So summer is going to give us Supergirl and then Lanterns. So
2026 is going to be some good comic
We were blessed, I think, pretty good the next couple of years because we got Spider-Man next summer, we got Supergirl, we got Lanterns, we got Clayface, and then the next year, we also have Avengers next year, but yeah.
Isn't Clayface animated?
No.
It's not animated?
It's live action, yeah. Come on. It's live action.
I only keep up with the Marvel
stuff. Time out. 2 Stephanie Phillips news. First of all, Grimm, the comic series by her, it's going to be coming to Netflix.
That's awesome.
The comic just ended, but it's coming to Netflix. And then her and Lee Garber are going to be writing Daredevil starting in March, which I'm wicked pumped for, dude.
The pictures they've already dropped look really good.
Well, he's going to be Professor Murdoch, which is awesome. But then they created
he used to be a professor
named Omen. I'm really excited for some new villain. Yeah, Professor Murdoch is a daddy. Now we got a new villain named Omen going after him.
And it comes out the same month we're getting Daredevil Born Again season 2.
And MegaCon too. So perhaps if we're lucky and blessed,
hopefully our Daredevil
panel at your MegaCon Orlando, folks. Yes.
Big month for Daredevil. Let's officially announce Marvel, or March is now Daredevil month.
I will. Oh yeah. Dude, Daredevil has become my Wolverine. I don't know what it is, but I am obsessed.
I know what it is.
Man,
can't mask that ass.
I'm also going blind, and so maybe anyways, Redcoat.
I'm a lawyer. You're going blind. Together, we are practically Daredevil.
We are avocados at law, just like Redcoat is coming to movies. It's in development with the producer who did it's Oppenheimer Productions, and
all of these so many great comics are I cannot wait for all of these to happen.
And Redcoat is my favorite comic book out right now too. I know we're not supposed to pick favorites, but I cannot get enough of Redcoat. I want to start a campaign to somehow be an extra in this. Can I get invited to set for a day? How does that happen? Can we make this happen? Who do I have to talk to? Jeff Johns?
Do you have to sit on?
Listen, I will cast any couch if you catch my drift if I get to go to Redcoat. Anyways, what else we
Chadwick Boseman's getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. As
of recording this, you got it today. And Ryan Coogler did a very heartfelt message, which, by the way, Ryan Coogler's next movie is Black Panther 3, by the way. That also got announced, but
what?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It got announced.
Apparently I don't know Marvel news either.
And then he spoke today and gave a very heartfelt thing, and it's located near the Dolby Theater. It's man, just wicked emotional, man.
I hope Nakia's in the next one. I'd like to see. I loved her in the second one. I love that she got more like stage presence. I hope we get to see more of her. I love her.
Yeah, same.
Can't mask that ass either.
Nope.
So HBO is also renewing House of the Dragon season 4. I'm gonna keep watching, but I'm not like excited about it.
They have that other show too that they have coming out. I'm just like, meh.
I think we keep watching because Game of Thrones was one of the few shows I watched consistently with.
God damn, I miss the days that Game of Thrones was good. Oh, we had it all.
House of the Dragon's not bad. It is good. It's just not like, oh my gosh, Ned Stark just lost his.
Oh,
you know what?
I just saw the news in the doc. Supernatural's leaving Netflix December 18th.
Yes, you can see it. I saw it on my TV today because I always have Supernatural up there. Continue watching, and it's leaving soon.
Mine is too.
So I'm going to have to prep all the rest of our episodes before December 18th because I speed watch through Netflix, and I feel like that's the only app you can easily speed watch.
Where do I watch it then? I'm sorry.
I don't know. HBO's sharing clips on Instagram. I don't know if it's going to go there. Some people are saying maybe it'll go. I think in other parts of the world you can stream it on Prime and
I canceling HBO? My Netflix.
Well, some people are also saying if it moves somewhere else, maybe they'll have the correct music for season 1. So maybe that could be a silver lining. I was surprised at that because it's always one of their highest streamed shows.
What the F, dude?
But Eric Kripke has also said that he doesn't make a penny off of it on Netflix.
I just texted Carrie and she said, I saw that on TikTok already. Why am I just finding out about this?
I don't know. Ian made a comment. He's like, it's the day after my birthday. So I guess on his birthday, he's just going to watch
I'm on a Mickey boat. I can't even watch it.
We better.
All right. Anyways, let's wrap news up. Let's get to Stranger Things.
Mad Men's coming to HBO Max in 4K this December. I think it's about time for a rewatch. I love me some Mad Men. And Malcolm in the Middle is back this spring on Disney Plus. I did not consistently watch it. I randomly watched it.
I didn't watch the whole thing, but I watched pockets like you did.
Yeah, and so because it was just you caught it when you caught it back then.
It was on TV, yeah.
Yeah. And now Bryan Cranston is obviously a huge name.
I love him. And Frankie Muniz, he races race cars, and he talks all the time about how he doesn't have memories from back.
Well, because they were little. That doesn't surprise me.
Well, no, he had like trauma and stuff, and then he actually there's pockets and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I just thought it was because he was little. But I'm actually kind of excited about that. I wonder if the kids watch. And it looks like the whole cast is coming back.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I'm really excited for that. Good for the whole cast. As far as I know, everybody on the cast is pretty chill and pretty good people. Hopefully that's the case. Bryan Cranston, you obviously know. I love him. So
the woman who played his wife, I don't know her name, but they've done like little skits and stuff, like where he woke up in his character from Malcolm in the Middle, and he's like, I had this crazy dream that I was married to this hot blonde and I was selling meth, and his wife just starts laughing at him. She's like, sure you did, honey. Sure, hot wife. Sure.
Did so yeah, I think Bryan Cranston routinely reaches out, and I know the one kid, the youngest brother, stopped acting and went to school and everything too for a while. So
Dewey, he'd barely look like himself.
He doesn't look like. Well, obviously he grew up because he's not like a 6-year-old anymore. But
right,
it's crazy.
Movie, Surviving Christmas? No, Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh, was he? That's Tim
Allen,
right?
Neighbor kid.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, before we go into Christmas and everything, we obviously have to talk Stranger Things. So this is going to be kind of long. We're gonna pause. Go do some ad breaks, I guess. And then we're going to come back with some Stranger Things recaps. We're going to kind of breeze through seasons 1 through 3 because really we're going to go more
comment on them. Well, yeah. And we did seasons 1 through 3 right before.
You can listen to that episode as well.
I literally copied and pasted and tried to pull out the not important part.
Okay. Well, we will be right back, and get your waffles, get whatever it is, get your blanket. We'll be BRB. What up? We're back. All right. Stranger Things. It's going to get strange. So quickly, like I said, through seasons 1 through 3. So to go into season 1 real quick, it's Dungeons and Dragons in Mike's basement. On Will's way home, he disappears. His mom, Joyce, goes to the cops and talks with Detective Hopper, who is kind of a mess at the time. This is when we then see 11 sneaking into the diner, steal some food. They were all babies back then. Cook calls social services. Well, the cook gets killed by social services because they weren't social services after all. 11 ends up escaping. She runs into Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, who are out looking for Will, who has disappeared. They decide to hide 11 in Mike's basement. They don't tell his parents. His parents are very hands-off parents. They don't even know he exists half the time or what they're doing. And they learn that she has Jedi powers. Nancy, who is Mike's older sister, woof. She goes to a party with Steve, everybody's favorite dad, and Barb stays by the pool, and she ends up getting taken by Demogorgon, and Barb fans came out of the woodwork. I don't know how or why, but justice for Barb. She never got justice. I wonder if she's going to come back in any capacity the last season as like a demon, maybe. I don't know.
She was dead.
Yeah, but like maybe Vecna or whomever played, whatever. We'll get to theories later. Joyce figures out that Will is trying to reach out to her through lights. So she then decorates the whole house with Christmas lights. And you may remember this because everybody then decided to decorate their house Stranger Things style with Christmas lights.
We have the blanket with the Christmas lights. It's on our couch right now.
Actually, there's a Lego set, I think, coming out for the Stranger Things house. But the boys realize that 11 can communicate with Will, and the boys then put together what 11 is saying and realize that Will is in what's called the Upside Down, and they need to find a gate to save him. Hopper finds the gate, wakes up in his apartment, which has now been bugged, and then he finds 11's mom, who is completely out of it, and her sister claims that there never was a baby. A dingo ate my baby. Nancy and Jonathan then go looking for Barb and Will. They see a Demogorgon, and Nancy ends up in the Upside Down herself. However, she does escape. The two of them go buy a bunch of stuff to kill the Demogorgon. Steve shows up. They get into a fight and get arrested. Steve and, what's her name? Nancy were actually dating. People tend to forget that too because Will and Nancy end up becoming a thing, which I think is a mistake. But Steve, you're too good for her, honey.
Will, no, Nancy and Jonathan, the brother.
Yeah, sorry. Yes, Jonathan is Will's brother. My apologies.
I thought Nancy and Jonathan dated in real life.
They are. They're actively still together. They've been together for like ever. Yeah. Cute. But I'm saying in the show, Steve and yeah.
Wait, she dated both of them in real life?
No, the show. What's
okay.
Dating in the first season.
This is why I try not to pay attention to celebrities' real lives. I can't keep track of both.
No,
sorry.
In real life, Jonathan and Nancy have been together for quite some time. Good for them.
Adorable.
Yeah, I always love a good love story, as long as everything's kosher with it, right? Now, Joyce and Hopper find Nancy and Jonathan. This is when Joyce and Harper find Nancy and Jonathan team up all at the same time. They make the big tub at the school to help 11 find Will. We then see Will getting grabbed by a Demogorgon. Joyce and Hopper get caught trying to get into the lab because they want to get into the Upside Down. So Hopper tells them where 11 is at. They'll let them go into the Upside Down. The bad guys show up at the school, 11 kills them, and then the Demogorgon is summoned by blood, and it attacks Brenner. Then 11 disappears with the Demogorgon. Joyce and Hopper find Will with a very gross thing down his throat, and then they pull it out. Ugh, it's pretty gross, man. Hopper's having flashbacks then of his daughter. The kids all end up at the hospital. Will's okay. It's a Christmas miracle. And speaking of Christmas, Hopper puts Eggos in a crate outside. Will is having a nice Christmas dinner with his mom and Jonathan, and then goes and coughs up a slug in the bathroom and sees the Upside Down for us.
Only for a second. All right.
Only for a second.
Season 2. Will is having Upside Down flashbacks, so Joyce takes him to the lab with Paul Reiser, aka Owens. Portal is still open in there, just continually spraying it with fire. We meet Max. Joyce is dating Bob. He's so nice. Played by Sean Astin. Don't get attached. Barb's parents hired an investigator.
I thought that was season 2. I thought it was season 3 for some reason.
Nope. Season 3 is the mall.
Let's go to the mall.
The parents or the investigator that Barb's parents hire is Murray. Crazy old Murray.
I come to love Murray.
We all do, especially in season 4. He's kind of on to 11, who is now living with Hopper. It's Halloween. They're dressed up as Ghostbusters. We meet Max's brother, Billy. Nancy dumps Steve at a party. Dustin finds a demi-dog and names it Dart. Dart, the house cat. That's what my beer's for. Not what my beer's for, but, toast the cat. Will is not okay with this idea, and Mike tries to kill it. Meanwhile, Dustin hides it and keeps it. Will keeps going comatose and says he feels connected to the shadow monster. Will then feels sick, and his temperature is low. Joyce decides to run him a warm bath, and Will creepily says, no, he likes it cold. Will draws a bunch of things that Joyce and Hopper connect and realize are vines. So Hopper then goes to a pumpkin patch with vines and starts digging, but falls into the tunnels and passes out. Bob shows up, and he's really good at puzzles, so Joyce tries to get him to help. Bob realizes the vines go around lakes in the area. So they're able to use this to actually find Hopper. Again, poor Bob. The light is like, I'm just helping you find your
He's like boyfriend. The purest human ever, okay? Listen, Sean Astin is Samwise Gamgee, who is responsible for the ring, first and foremost. Nobody likes Rudy. Rudy's an asshole in real life. No.
the real life story is my middle school dude. After we watched the movie.
No. All right. First of all, Sean Astin is Samwise Gamgee. He carried Frodo's limp ass up that damn mountain and then got the ring thrown into Mordor, okay? And then he is amazing in this, okay? So Sean Astin, boo.
Not a Lord of the Rings fan, so I'm just trying to ignore that part. So where were we? He made me lose my place with your Lord of the Rings nonsense. Okay, so they're able to use this to find Hopper.
God.
The lab guys show up too, and they just, again, start burning it. But the burning causes Will to seize because he's connected to it. 11 finds her mom and learns that Papa lied. Nancy and Jonathan team up with Murray. They also get it on at Murray's house. Meanwhile, Dart got loose and ate the family cat. Cheers. So Steve is brought in to help him. Dusty locks it in the basement and it tunnels out. So now we learn there is more than one dog. All the kids are around with more than one dog. Steve helps them save the day and they all run away. And that's what my shirt is, Adventures in Babysitting. And it's Steve with the little bat.
Oh, yeah.
And nod to Elizabeth's shoe. So over at the lab, they realize the portal is still way more open than they thought, and that's where the tunnels are actually coming from. So they just keep wanting to burn more, but it's going to kill Will. Mike tells Will if he's connected to Shadow Monster, maybe he can spy on it. So Will sends them to where the brain essentially is, but this was, of course, a trap, and the dogs are all coming to get them. 11 finds number 8, who can create illusions. And she teaches
is season 2 when they do like the weird like emo thing, or is that season?
Yes.
Oh, God.
So they teach 11 how to make her powers stronger. Turns out 8 and her friends are actually killing Hawkins' lab people. So they make 11 look goth, and they go to kill the guy who hurt her mom. He tells them, hey, don't kill me. I'll give up Papa, who actually did not die in season 1. 11 then sees her friends are in trouble, and she takes off. Back at the lab, everyone is in trouble. Bob gets attacked, and he's killed by demodogs. In the D&D manual, they actually learn that the Mind Flayer controls its minions meaning the demidogs in this scenario, so the Shadow Monster must be like the Mind Flayer controlling the dogs.
Interesting.
Then 11 shows up to save the day. Now the issue is closing the portal while Will is still alive. Joyce remembers the Shadow Monster likes it cold, so they tie Will down and they make him sweat it out like that episode of Supernatural.
That's true. Then
the Shadow Monster flies out. Dogs are still blocking the portal. Steve is watching the kids and says they're not going anywhere, but Billy shows up and kicks Steve's ass. Ugh, Billy. The kids knock out Billy and they take Billy's car and they drag a passed out Steve with them. Steve wakes up and they decide to create a distraction so 11 and Hopper can close the portal. It works. Woohoo! But the dogs go after the kids, but first is Dart, and Dart is friendly because Dustin was nice.
I love Dustin, man. He's like my favorite character. Him and Steve. God, I can't get enough.
Really, these demogorgons, like demidogs, had a chance. They just need a proper ownership. Then all the dogs go running to the portal, and we see 11 close the portal, and the dogs sadly die. Murray's article puts blame for Barb's death on the lab, wrapping up that issue. Paul Reiser then coordinates it so 11 can live a nice, normal life, and we end at the season at the Snowball.
But of course, season 3, we are now going to the mall today.
Let's go to the
Soviets,
do you want to go today? Do you want to go tomorrow? Do you want to go now?
Let's go to the mall. I don't care. Let's just go to the mall. Malls, unfortunately, are a dying place. It makes you... Anyways, Soviets have infiltrated Hawkins. Oh, the Ruskies. They're experimenting with reopening the portal. Will gets a chill. Oh, he's not Joe Chill, though. Now, Mike and 11 are making out, and Hopper's not very happy because he's a dad. Dustin is dating Susie long distance. You wouldn't know her. She goes to a different school or a different radio, if you will.
Never-ending story.
And Luke, oh, God. She is the unsung hero of this season, by the way. But
and
Lucas and Max, that's true.
Or now, 4. Sorry.
That's right. Yeah, but she does come to play in 4. That's right. Yeah. And Lucas and Max are dating while Will just wants to play some D&D, man. He's missed out on the best days of his life. He's trapped in the Upside Down, okay? The dude just wants to vibe with his friends. Meanwhile, Jonathan and Nancy still get together and they're working at the local paper. And the guys there are being a-holes to Nancy because it is, like the 70s.
Really need to leave that in.
No. Now, Steve is working at Scoops Ahoy with Robin, who is awesome, first of all, but also, she's Uma Thurman and Ethan Hawke's daughter. And God, I would have loved to have been born in that family. Now, Mike's mom is all hot and bothered for Billy, who is the local lifeguard. Billy gets attacked ultimately, though. Uh-oh. This is when Max and 11 end up getting close. Sadie Sink, if you will, is Max. And 11 ends up dumping Mike. Hopper then asks out Joyce. Joyce stands...
Season of love.
It is, but unfortunately, Joyce stands up Hopper because magnets stopped working. Uh-oh. Dustin's trying to talk with his girlfriend on his fancy radio, to which he intercepts the Russians. He runs to Steve for help, and Robin knows the language and translates that it's about stuff at the mall. And the Russians are actually using the mall. She doesn't know Russian,
but she knows about languages, so she feels like she can try to decipher it. Yes. If I remember correctly. I did not realize.
Either way, they find out that the Russians are using the mall. So Jonathan and Nancy are working, of course they are working on a story about rats that are apparently possessed by the Mind Flayer. Now, Billy is back. However, he's being very weird and has another lifeguard tied up who is then fine and starts acting weird themselves. 11 begins using her power. She sees Billy, who also then sees her. Then Billy and the girl attack the girl's parents, like how they are possessed, and the Mind Flayer is then seen possessing a bunch of people at this point. Will tells everybody, and they start spying on Billy because they figured out he is probably possessed. So they lock him up in a sauna. He breaks free and attacks, and luckily 11's there because she stops him. Now, Jonathan and Nancy find out the rat lady is possessed, and they team up with everybody else. Back at the mall, we're not just shopping. Erica, who is Lucas's sister, helps crawl through vents to investigate more for ice cream because they pay her off in ice cream because she's a kid. And why wouldn't you be paid in ice cream for doing dangerous stuff? They end up in an elevator that goes all the way down to a portal. Robin and Steve save Dustin and Erica, but they end up getting caught and tied up in their little sailor costumes. They get truth serumed, which really is just drugs. And then Dustin and Erica rescue their high-ass friends who have a nice moment. And Steve tells her he likes her, but Robin likes girls. So then become best friends. And that's a really cool, fun moment as well, because Steve's pretty chill about it. And he doesn't make it a thing.
They do become best friends. Yeah,
and they do become best friends. And I love Robin.
In the next season, yeah.
Yes. Meanwhile, Hopper goes and threatens somebody, and they get a Russian scientist. Then they go to Murray, who speaks Russian, and this Russian scientist is Alexei.
Which is Hopper's name in Thunderbolts.
But don't get too attached.
And Black Widow.
Now, all other kids go to check on the rat lady. Everybody else is possessed, but once the possessed people are useless, they melt into goo, and they are combined to a big goo monster that 11 ends up defeating. 11 goes into Billy's head to see good and bad memories, but is looking for the Mind Flayer at this point. The Mind Flayer turns the tables, finds 11, and the giant thing is now attacking them all. Now, 11 gets to the mall, attacks the Russians. Oh, God, yeah. Then all the kids end up teaming up at the mall and let each other know what's going on. Joyce, Hopper, and Murray are all in the car together, and they head to the fair looking for the kids. They still have Alexei, who is with them, and he's having a great time. Unfortunately for him, he ends up getting whacked.
Murdered.
He's murdered.
I guess it's whacked. Yeah, you could say whacked.
Yeah, he gets killed. He's dead. Big old pile of dead. They then attack Hopper, to which they sneak out, get to the mall with the kids, and the adults plan to go down and close the portal. Now, 11's powers are not working at this point. Billy's still possessed and waiting to attack. The Mind Flayer shows up in the mall. Some of the kids make it out, and Steve manages to get into the car and pick them up. All while, the adults are trying to get down into the Russian facility below to the mall to close the portal. They cannot figure out the math. God, can I relate to that or what?
Because Alexei was supposed to do the math.
Yes. However, Dustin knows that his girlfriend Susie can help, and she does. And after Dustin is forced to see the never-ending story, what is her? I forget her nickname for him, but it's really
Dusty Buns.
Dusty Buns. Yeah. Oh. Billy ends up bringing 11 to the Mind Flayer to become possessed.
Yes, because they were selling Dusty Buns. I think at the Stranger Things thing in New York, they had like cinnamon buns or something. Wow, I have to see if I have pictures of that. I probably do.
At this point, the kids begin throwing fireworks at the Mind Flayer. 11's able to break the connection with Billy by reminding him of the good memories. As a result, Billy then fights the Mind Flayer and ends up dying doing it. It's actually kind of sad. And Hopper gets stuck while Joyce has to close the portal. Thinking that this will kill Hopper, the Mind Flayer collapses when the portal closes. This is when Paul Reiser shows up. Everybody's kind of happy again. Kind of, keyword. Robin and Steve are now working at the video store. Joyce decides to take her boys and 11. They decide then to move to California. 11 has no powers. And the very last scene of this season is in a Russian facility. We see a Demogorgon and Hopper.
He's not dead.
Not yet.
All right.
Definitely am going to grab a beer. So season 4, we are here. Chapter 1. This season was long. The episodes were long. So we're going to do a lot more in depth now with season 4. Which we start with Papa. September 8th, 1979. We're at the Hawkins lab in the Rainbow Room. Papa is working with a student, and suddenly all of the kids are no longer alive. Kind of crazy. We then see young 11 standing there bleeding from her nose as Papa asks, "What have you done?" Now we go to present day, and 11 is in California with Will, Joyce, and Jonathan. We meet Argyle, the pizza server. Yeah. Elle sends Mike a letter saying how great everything is, to which she's lying, of course, because she's not happy. Joyce then receives a package from Russia, which is a creepy doll.
Not a nesting doll. It's a creepy doll.
Jess must have sent it. It's no big deal.
Oh, Jess likes American Girl dolls, which are not creepy at all. They are precious, adorable, cultural American icons that represent what America is about, because they're all about little girls from all over the world coming to America. It's what we are. It's the foundation of our country.
Yes.
It's historical. It's educational. And they're freaking adorable.
Yes. Well, she calls the goofy, helpful dude, and he tells her to take the dress off, then break it. To which there's a note inside. And now back at Hawkins, Dusty Bun is talking with his girlfriend as she changes his grades in the school system. Steve and Robin head to school. Man, I wish I had that help. Talking about boobs. It's a pep rally where the basketball captain says they won the championship for all the people that died last season. Yeah.
How nice. We were going to lose. We couldn't lose because we had to represent the people who died.
Help the people who died.
That's what matters.
Now Max walks the hallways listening to Kate Bush running up that hill. Yep, this song became wicked popular, folks. She notices Chrissy is looking really worried and then hears her puking in the bath. As Max leaves, Chrissy starts to see and hear creepy things, to which we then meet Eddie as he reads a Newsweek article talking about devil and D&D, and it's actually pretty funny because this is like the satanic
based on real crap, which is ridiculous. Based on real crap. Ugh.
Yeah, and then we then see Chrissy buying drugs in the middle of the woods from none other than Eddie himself to kind of drown out the crazy that she's kind of experiencing. So meanwhile, amongst all this, Erica replaces her brother in the Hellfire Club. Hail Lord Vecna! Dun, dun, dun. He's a lich, according to Seth. By the way, shout out to Seth. Now, back at Eddie's, he's looking for a Special K for Christy. While looking, Christy hears a clock, starts to see things. Eddie comes out, sees Christy standing there. She's unresponsive. The lights begin to flash. This
Christy,
is when...
wake up. I don't like this. Christy,
so glad that we moved past that. And now that
I don't know, I kind of liked it. I even did a TikTok for it.
It is so annoying. Oh, God. And I just feel so bad. First of all, Grace Van Dyne was Chrissy, who you might know Van Dyne because Casper Van Dyne was an actor who also was in Starship Troopers. Just saying.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
I saw Chrissy and Argyle, actually, I think at Fan X. And I will say Argyle.
She was at MegaCon one of these years. I can't remember.
Maybe it was MegaCon. They all kind of blend together. But Argyle sounds just like Argyle.
Maybe it was Fan X when we were in Salt Lake. I think they were there.
I'm trying to think. Did
my God,
show come out that long ago?
But we've been to a lot. This show came out.
So it was 3 years ago. What year is it? It's 2025. So this came
out
in
2022. Yeah, so that was Salt Lake. That was Salt Lake that year because that was a year before I moved here to Virginia. Yeah,
okay,
wow.
So then it might have been there. But he sounds like a stoner, which I thought was funny because I kind of thought like he was leaning into that for the role. And then when he came out and he started talking just like that, I was like, this is amazing. I love him even more. All right, so chapter 2.
Chrissy's dead. By the way, I didn't finish. Chrissy's dead. Eddie sees it. They blame Eddie for the kill. There you go. Now, chapter 2.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Well,
so there are 9 chapters in this last season. So chapter 2, Vecna's Curse. Mike and Murray arrive in California, and Eddie is hiding from the cops. Mike, Will, and Elle end up at the skate rink where the Angela bully is.
Oh, this is a fun one. She was awful, but Elle, good for her, girl. You slay.
So a milkshake on Elle's dress later, and the bully gets a well-deserved roller skate to the face and a second-grade concussion. Meanwhile, Murray is trying to convince Joy that the note inside the creepy doll is not from Hopper, but she thinks otherwise. Now we see how Hopper survived. He's being tortured by the Russians. Murray sets it up to safely call the person on the ransom note. He says it makes it so it looks like it's getting called from a different state and everything.
You end up loving Murray in a weird way. He's like that crazy, creepy conspiracy theoried uncle.
100%, but he's the one whose conspiracy theories pan out, and he's the one that's willing
also
to
very
everything to protect everybody. Yeah,
he really
and
does.
He's not doing it for himself. He's doing it to
He's kind of grimy, but not at this.
Yeah. He's just.
You just think he's weird and creepy, but he's really just a conspiracy theory nut who turns out to be correct. So,
all right. So they tell her you need to bring $40,000 to Alaska. They determine it was not the KGB that called. Back in Hawkins, Chrissy's boyfriend wants to attack Eddie, and he gets his friends all riled up. Despite Lucas explaining that Hellfire is just D&D and not a satanic cult, Dustin and Max have set it up, and they have a whole area set up in the tape store, and they're also looking for Eddie. Thanks to Robin's detective skills, they find Reefer Rick's address on the video company computer because they're like, okay, there are this many Ricks in this area. Do we think this Rick would have rented
Actor Rick
Dumbo or something? It was Disney movies, and then they got to Cheech and Chong, and they're like, there's Reefer Rick.
There we go.
So they then find Eddie by going to Reefer Rick's. Dustin catches him up on the Upside Down and explains to him what's actually most likely happening. Nancy is following the story as well with some poor kid from school who is now seeing the clock. While interviewing Uncle's Eddie, he tells Nancy he thinks it was Victor Creel, a man who killed his whole family and took their eyes, just like Chrissy's eyes were taken. So this poor kid that was with Nancy is Fred. Nancy's little helper is then killed by Vecna.
That is tough. Yeah. So we are in chapters, which takes us to chapter 3, the monster and the superhero. Pretty intense stuff, folks. Now, Ruth, Nevada. It's Paul Reiser's place. He was the nice doctor that Will had at the Hawkins lab. The military ends up showing up to show him pictures of Chrissy. The military thinks that Elle did this because Papa, aka Brenner, trained her to assassinate from a distance. Now, Paul Reiser tells them that she's dead. They don't end up buying it, nor should they. But back in California, Elle is then arrested for her skating incident. As she's being transferred to juvie, some people kind of interfere. Paul Reiser's there. He's the one that tried to hide them. He tells Elle that she doesn't need to worry about the skate thing, and Hawkins has a war coming. I always love that, like, the trope in shows and movies. There's a war coming. There's always a war coming. Come with me. I'll explain later. And they do, instead of being like, no, can you take 2 seconds to tell me now that there's a war coming? Like, what's exactly going on here? But
I like Paul Reiser, though, and I love that they cast him for this. And what's crazy, too, is like this came out at the same time The Boys season 3 came out, and he was introduced in The Boys. And
right.
And both of them, those seasons, Dream a Little Dream for You is relevant.
Oh yeah, I remember we had that whole talk about because
Well, then I was watching a Supernatural episode today when I was working out, and it was the one that they were playing Dream a Little Dream for You. It's a big deal, man.
It is. Now they need Elle's help because of this war that's coming. He can help her get her powers back. Meanwhile, in Hawkins, Nancy's meeting up with Robin, Dustin, Max, and Steven. They try to figure out why Fred and Chrissy, they split up. Robin goes with Nancy to research Victor Creel because Steve is always the goddamn babysitter.
Adventures in babysitting.
Honestly, he is the group's dad.
He loves it. And you learn that he loves it when he tells his little RV story to Nancy that he wanted to have 6 babies and go around the country in an RV.
I love. First of all, he's too good for Nancy, number 1. Number 2, I love that Steve, they set him up to be that douchebag boyfriend.
I don't have anything wrong with Nancy.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't have anything wrong, but Steve, this is one of those rare instances, again, where they set Steve up to be like,
to her.
Well, yeah, they set him up to be the douchebag boyfriend, but now he's one of the favorite characters. And it's just kind of, I love that they didn't follow that trope of this guy's a dick completely. He had a complete redemption and he's awesome. He's like,
and Nancy recognizes that. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's something shifts in season 5, but
I don't think they end up together. I don't think they should be together personally.
I don't either, because he burned her, but
and I think they've outgrown each other. Yeah, I get whatever.
But her calling him out on his BS is what helped shift him. That and fighting Demogorgons.
Very true. Very true.
That'll change anybody.
War changes people. Now, Nancy and Robin, speaking of war, find out that Creel claimed a demon, killed his family, and they think this demon is Vecna. We then see Vecna in the Upside Down stalking the humans. Suddenly, once the basketball player gets a nosebleed, as they continue looking for Eddie. Steve and kids break into the school and learn that Fred and Chrissy were seeing the school shrink, as is Max. Who then hears Vecna call her and hears the clock.
So did Vecna find his victims through the school shrink, or did they all just happen to be going to the school shrink?
Listen, they've got time on the mind, all right? They got time.
The ding. So chapter 4, Dear Billy. Paul Reiser's people catch up.
You're not killing time. Time's killing you, kid.
And they stick around to allegedly protect them. So these are like the good people, because it got a little confusing because there's different people going after them, and one are to protect and one are to attack. One of them thinks Elle's good and one thinks that Elle's bad. So Will tells Mike he trusts Owens, which is Paul Reiser, but he wasn't the one who saved him. Mike and everyone did. So Jonathan says they need to bust out. So they call Surfer Boy Pizza to get Argyle. Before he gets there, they get attacked by the bad people. One of the good guys is down, not dead, but down, and one is shot, but they stay.
Got a man down.
Argyle shows up in the nick of time to the driveway. Which Argyle, like, doing all this and rescuing them, it was so nice because he was like a regular person and just like, what is happening? Like, this isn't normal. Whereas
I know, he was down right from the get-go. That's why it sucked that he's not going to be in the final season, apparently.
Oh, no? Oh,
no, they announced, like, when they were filming that he apparently never got a call to come back. Now, whether they changed that or not, I'd never heard, but
maybe they just don't need that. Because
he's not in the final season. But he became part of the crew. He went through this stuff together, man. And not for nothing. If you want to have like a death in the final.
But maybe they just don't need him in the last season, because what he did in this season was he was the comic relief and the guide for somebody, you needed that, like, out of, like, have it not so in it kind of perspective.
I'm just a guy. I'm just Jag. Just a guy.
But, like, one thing I did not put in the notes when writing everything was this show is funny. And I feel like
the show does really lean into humor for a lot of we don't, you're right. You're probably going to say, I'm sorry to cut you off, that we don't really recognize it enough.
But I think that's why we love it so much.
Because it's a good blend of it's not, I guess it's kind of that fantasy horror genre, but you're right though. It's very funny. And I think we don't recognize it enough because of all the other supernatural aspects.
Yeah, but because it's not classified as a comedy at all. But
no, it's not.
If you have the time, it was fun rewatching it if you do have the time. But yeah, this season was long. It's only 9 episodes, but every episode was well over an hour. The finale is 2.5 hours. So Lucas catches up. Okay, so we got that. Argyle shows up in the nick of time. So now we're back in Hawkins. Lucas finally catches up with everybody, and he tells them the basketball team is looking for Dustin to find Eddie. Hopper escapes from his Russian prison, and he finds warm blankets and peanut butter. But that doesn't last long, as the crazy
Yuri... Two of my favorite things.
So the crazy Yuri guy was supposed to help Hopper get to Joyce and Murray, but he learned that escaped prisoners and KGB traitor dudes go for way more. So he drugs Joyce and Murray, and he's going to trade them in as well. So Max delivers notes to everyone because she thinks she's next, because she's, hearing the clock and everything. Robin and Nancy sneak into the asylum as students because they're going to see Victor Creel. And that is where they learn that music has a calming effect. If it's the right song, the doctor tells them, because they're walking through and they're like, the music.
Oh, yeah.
The people at the asylum. They then do manage to get Victor alone, and they get a 1950s flashback. And I love that they had the girls do this because they really played into the, we're just girls. We just,
yeah.
This chance, and they really played to the guy's ego, which I thought was.
It wasn't just one of those they did it just for whatever. There was a legitimate reason.
100%, yeah. So Victor tells them about his daughter Alice and his son Henry, and Henry sensed things in the house. Then suddenly animals were getting mutilated everywhere around the house. This concerned Victor. Victor says he thinks it was a demon, and they all eventually experience nightmares during the day and at night. Side note, which is really fun, Freddy Krueger is playing Victor.
Yes, and there's nightmares I love happening. That. I do love that, yes.
And notice they didn't put his name at the beginning of the episode with the actors' names. As soon as the episode had ended, they put him in there. Yeah. So that's how you know that was intentionally a fun Easter egg. So, and then they suddenly hear, dream a little dream of you. So the wife goes first, just like Chrissy. One of Victor's nightmares was when he thought German soldiers were inside a house, but he was wrong and there was actually a baby in there. So this is something that actually happened. So they would prey on your memories of things you feel guilty about, which is why Max is getting targeted with everything with Billy.
Kind of
so
crazy.
Then his daughter died, and then Henry slips into a coma and dies, quote, quote, dies a week later. Obviously, we learn later that's BS. Victor tried to kill himself by gouging out his eyes, but he claims the demons wouldn't let him do it, and he's just cursed to live horribly. Max is now at Billy's gravesite, saying her goodbyes to him. She's taking too long, so Steve runs up, and he sees she's completely zoned out. She sees Victor's house. While she's zoned out, she sees Victor's house in pieces with a dead Chrissy and a dead Fred. Dead Fred. Ha! Drop dead Fred.
Fred's dead, baby.
Hello, snot face. So Dustin calls Nancy and Robin as they're escaping the asylum, and Robin has made the music connection. So she tells them, because they call on the radio, they're like, help, 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 SOS, da, da, da. They're like, music. And Dustin gets Max's Walkman out. They're all, looking for Running Up the Hill. They put it on. Max levitates, thinks of good moments, and then she
cool
falls.
Scene, by the way. Really cool scene.
When I love that they're like, why do we have to find her favorite song? And Dustin starts to explain, and he's like, do I really have to explain this right now?
Yeah. And again, this was another big song between that. God, awful Chrissy, wake up. But this was legitimately a good song. This revived. Oh, God. Now we're on to chapter 5, which is the Nina Project. The guy is protecting them, and the Pizza Surf fan says not to go to a hospital. They find Owens because the girl is in danger. He says Nina and then dies. But they have his pen that has a number inside of it. They call the number. It's not a phone they're calling. It's a computer. So they go to Susie, Dustin's girlfriend, the goat.
Which is actually really cool because they're calling the internet. So it's the show's ahead of its time, but it's not ahead of its time because the internet did exist then. It just didn't exist in your home computer. Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay.
So now Owen takes Elle to his top secret location, which is where we do see Nina. It's a thing, not a person. Papa is also there. Elle runs, and suddenly they're all not being nice anymore. No more Mr. Nice Guy. They knock her out, and she then wakes up in a hospital gown, head shaved, crying, but she does wake up in a dream, a memory, in the rainbow room with a creepy blonde dude that's actually in Nina. Elle gets a glimpse of herself, sees her reflection is much younger, and Papa
He's not in Nina. She's in Nina.
She's
Remember,
in
Nina's the big tub.
Yes.
Nina's like the giant
Chris Farley.
deprivation tank.
Yes. But yes, you are correct. I apologize for that. Now, Papa explains she's in a memory and tries to explain how she can get out of this memory. 11 plays the part and relives the memory. Suddenly her hands are covered in blood. The kids are all deceased and Elle needs to be shocked. Comes to and tries to escape again. This time her powers are now working. They're not full capacity though. You got to charge them up. You got to get those babies real charged, get yourself a lightning cable or something. I don't know, 30 minutes to charge. But now she is a willing participant. Hopper and his new KGB friend are captured while Joyce and Murray are tied up on the plane with Yuri, who ends up not being
Yuri's
the guy I thought.
I'm not going to say what Yuri is yet because I got a beer on deck and I will explain it in a minute.
One Yuri, please.
Yuri's crazy.
They escape their restraints. They end up fighting Yuri, knock him out, and then they crash land with no survivors. Max draws what she saw, and Nancy puts it all together, realizing that it's Victor Creel's house. Off to the house they all go. Over the river and through the woods to Victor Creel's house we go. Yes. Now abandoned, of course, the lights start to randomly flash. They realize that it means that Vecna is there in the Upside Down. This was cool. I really liked this. How the duality of the worlds, they're playing off of that. I liked how they kind of collided the worlds and how Vecna was stalking them. And
would you say this is what it's like when worlds collide?
You ready to go? That's Rob Zombie's brother.
Who's Rob Zombie's brother?
That song, Power Man 5000. Yeah, that's Rob Zombie's brother. That. Well, now the more you know, folks.
George Costanza also says the world's colliding.
Oh,
George doesn't like it.
Worlds collide.
I was referring to the song, but George also said
thank you. Well, that's Rob Zombie's brother. Anyways, Chrissy's funeral is one of the basketball players sees the clock at Chrissy's funeral, I should say. The boyfriend learned that Lucas was in the Hellfire Club and is now determined to go after all of them to find Eddie because, again, satanic death cult. They start to close in on him. He paddles away in a boat. The boyfriend and the friend that saw the clock swim after, and suddenly the friend rises up and he's dead. He dies like Chrissy did. Poof. Dead. Crumpled. Shame. Gone. Sayonara, sucker.
Chapter 6, The Dive. The boyfriend talks to the cops and tells them Eddie is a
No, we're not talking about your favorite boxer in the 70s during the Mafia. Dives. Taking a dive. That was like a big thing. The Mafia. You set up, you fix the fights, tell this guy to take a dive. Like,
like
Jack Murdoch.
Daredevil's dad did. Got you.
Look at us. We had the same thought again. Oh my God. We finished each other's sandwiches.
All right. So the boyfriend's like, no. Eddie's just a vessel for Satan. Satan killed his friend. They're like, okay, sure, kid. So the boyfriend then gets the whole town riled up about Hellfire Club, and Mike, Dustin, and Lucas's parents go looking for their kids because now they're frantic to save their kids. The bad military people who think Elle actually is killing the people in Hawkins from a distance, they continue to torture the guy that is still at Joyce's house, and he is doing his best to protect Mike, Jonathan, and Will. He's not ratting them out yet. Emphasis.
I ain't a snitch. I never knock on nobody.
So Papa then explains to Elle that she's kind of like a stroke victim where she can relearn the things she forgot. She can get her powers back, but she needs to relive memories, and Papa has everything recorded.
It's not funny, but it's funny to me. Like, she's a stroke victim, kind of. She can relearn.
That's how he compares it. Like, stroke victims have to relearn to walk. She has to relearn to kill people from a distance.
Like, this is funny. Whoops.
Back into Nina she goes. She has to experience those memories in this giant bathtub. I always wonder when they do that. I'm like, I hope it's warm water. Just
have a good bath, though. Maybe she got a charcuterie board, some wine. Warm.
If it's cold, I ain't doing a cold plunge.
Oh, I'm not doing a cold plunge. No. Oh my God. I don't know. I've kind of been curious to try one, but
we have one in our garage.
Do you really? All right. There's that movie, Good Fortune. Seth Rogen goes between his ice bath and his sauna, which is right next to each other.
We have a sauna and an ice bath in our garage.
Let's try the ice bath and run into the sauna.
We can do that. You can do that when you're here.
I'm very curious to try it, so maybe we'll see.
So, Josh, the ice bath, it's like a bath that you can fully sit in. But he has it because, we have the boat we have a 3-car garage. A car's never been in there.
Your garage is huge. Yes, you got a boat.
We have a 17-foot boat in the garage, and a sauna, and a workout bench, and multiple scooters and bikes. It's ridiculous. And a cold
house is the best. All right. I didn't take the scooters for a freaking ride when I was there last time.
So I got home one day, and Josh is sitting in the cold plunge, which is in front of the boat with the garage completely open, and he looks like the crazy guy in Thunder Mountain at Magic Kingdom that's like in the bathtub. That's what he looks like. And he's just waving at the neighbors. He talks to all the neighbors and he's friends with all the neighbors. He knows all the neighborly gossip.
All right. I'm not going to lie. That's some goals right there.
If I'm like, we have our exercise bike in the garage. So if I'm in the garage working out, I crack the garage door by like 1.5 feet. Like I won't even.
Your garage is going to be a hot, humid, disgusting place. But
I want to sweat. Everyone to
stare at you. Well,
right. I don't want people to stare at me. So, and like if the Amazon guy shows up, he's just going to hear supernatural blasting.
Does the Amazon drop like in your garage? Because we have the Amazon like in your garage. They can drop it.
Josh would never allow that.
They get like a special code that they can open, and yeah.
I've heard of it, but Josh would never do that. He'd rather have the shit stolen than have some random dude have the pass to our garage.
Yeah, but it's a special code. It only works one time. Okay. Anyways, we should probably.
Oh, really? It only works one time. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a special code. They don't get the code to your garage. It's a.
So how do they get into the garage?
If you link it to your garage door opener, like I have, they get a special code to open it for that one time and put your package in, and then it closes.
I mean, if our package gets stolen, that happened once, and Amazon just gave us our money back.
Look, I just think it's cool for the fact that, like, okay, there's nothing really, if you want to steal the air hockey table, I guess, in my garage, I don't know, but like, there's nothing of value, I guess, in there. It's from our Christmas decoration, but I also have a camera in there so I can see you anyways.
We have a ring.
Well, I have a garage door opener with a camera so I can see, and I like to play pranks on the kids and like pretend I'm a ghost sometimes, and they get freaked out, and it's a whole thing. Anyways, speaking of ghosts, we should probably.
I have answered the door before, and Josh was already having a conversation with a random person there, and he's in India.
Yeah. Yes, I remember you telling me this. Yes.
All right, so into Nina we go. The bathtub to experience his memories. In the memory, the creepy blonde guy tells Elle she reminds him of her
girl
number one
that I once knew.
Reminds him of her number. Oh, she reminds him of number one. That's
yes.
Who they've been told never existed. Creepy guy said number one did exist, but he did not have a happy ending. Creepy guy then tells her about her mom and that Papa lies. Obviously, we're spoiling everything. We know creepy blonde guy is number one, is Vecna, is Henry. Okay.
I've been holding on to that, not spoiling, but it doesn't make sense.
Right, we're here to spoil.
In my mind, I'm like, he's clearly Vecna, but yeah.
Exactly. So Vecna Henry 1 then tells her about her mom and the Papa lies. She's now competing against another kid. She uses a sad and angry memory of her mom, like Vecna told her to do. Elle then gets bullied and then sees all the murdered kids with blood all over her, and she wakes up saying that she killed them all. So her memory is still jumbled, that she thinks she did it. When she didn't do it, number one, Vecna Henry did. Surfer Boy Pizza Crew makes it to Dustin's girlfriend's house, which is hilariously chaotic and exactly what you would expect from a bunch of homeschool kids in a funny way. She gets a location with that number. So she narrows it down to where Elle is. Back at the prison, the prisoners are given a feast. One of the Russian prisoners says the feast is to make them strong to fight the monster they've been hearing about. Hopper, of course, knows that the monster is a Demogorgon, and he scares the crap out of all the Russians, just telling them the truth. But he makes sure to pocket some liquor that they gave him and a lighter to fight the Demogorgon.
Hell yeah.
He knows they don't like the fire. All the Hawkins crew now touches base with Eddie, and they go to meet him where he's hiding. They find him, and then Dustin realizes that his compass isn't working, which means there could be a gate nearby. Remember, Joyce's magnet's not working. The magnetic stuff is relevant. So they follow the compass to a possible lake.
Magnets. China has all the magnets.
Nancy, Eddie, and maybe there's a lot of gates to the upside down there.
That's right.
Nancy, Eddie, and Robin and Steve go on the tiny little boat, and the compass goes absolutely crazy. And Steve jumps into the water where he sees a bunch of dead fish bones and a red light. He touches the red and it reacts. He goes up. He tells everybody he found a gate. Then something pulls him down into the gate.
Oh, no.
I was about to say into the unknown. Into the unknown. No. Nancy follows Steve. Then Rob and Eddie also follow suit. While on shore, the cops grab Dustin, Max, and Lucas. And we see bats. Freaking bats in the upside down, and Steve gets attacked. Right, and while you start chapter 7, I'm going to open up my next beer.
All right, you open that up because in chapter 7, Massacre at Hawkins. Steve's fine. He's all good, boo. Don't worry. The other 3 show up and they save him. Now, the poor tortured dude gives up 11, but asks them to promise not to hurt her. I drank that beer not long ago. Dang it, that's a good one.
It's from Pat.
Crazy from
crazy.
Pat.
Murray's batshit crazy. Bats are going batshit crazy in the upside down.
Yeah, dude. Anytime you promise don't hurt her, come on, bro. Come on. Now, after the crash landing, Joyce, Murray, and their new prisoner now show up to the secret Russian prison. As the prisoners are about to face a Demogorgon, Murray and Joyce watch what's happening. The Demogorgon attacks. Hopper lights his spear on fire. Murray and Joyce get the doors open, and Hopper and his KGB friend are safe. Joyce and Hopper then reunite. It's very beautiful, very, very beautiful for all of 5 seconds before things get crazy. Now back at the Wheelers' house, with all of the parents and the kids, Lucas, Erica, and Dustin brainstorm how to contact the Upside Down and why Vecna is doing what he's doing. They decide that Vecna is above the Mind Flayer, who is above the Demogorgons. There's a whole hierarchy of things. And Vecna is opening the gates to take over the world. In the Upside Down, Nancy cannot find her guns at her house because it's the day Will went missing back in 1983, the day that the gate opened, and Steve ends up hearing Dustin. They all notice the lights doing different things on each side. Very cool.
Somebody pointed out that Mary Winchester dies like 4 days before Will goes missing.
Oh, God. We tried to sacrifice Mary Winchester to Vecna, but apparently it wasn't good enough. Even he got tired of Mary Winchester.
Like, so Eddie
does Morse code to Dustin. SOS. SOS.
Please, someone help me.
They communicate through the Light Bright, which is another classic toy I had. I love the Light Bright.
We have a Light Bright. Somebody got it for Logan. We do have a Light Bright.
Light Brights were awesome. Now, the older kids can hear Dustin and them, and they can see letters on the Light Bright. They say that there's stuff.
Cool. They really move in their hand. So the Light Bright's not in the Upside Down, but it's in the real world, and then they unplugged it because you can light up things that aren't lit up.
I love it.
So that was cool.
Dustin tells him that he thinks there are gates at every murder site, so they all go to meet at Eddie's, where Chrissy was murdered after slashing the cops' tires, of course. However, a bat alerts Vecna about the older kids. They all see each other through the ceiling. Robin and Eddie climb through. Then Nancy zones out and falls into the upside-down pool where Barb passed away at. The creepy blonde guy chases Elle in the Rainbow Room. He tells her the kids who survived are going to kill her, and Papa is going to let them. He tells Elle that she's more powerful than the others, and Papa cannot control her. He also tells her that he was punished for helping her, and she must escape today. The blonde guy explains that he's tracked, so Elle pulls out the tracker. They're all cornered as they go to escape, and then that's when we learn that the bad guy and the blonde guy are number one. You're number one, I'm number two, or however the
saw it coming.
Yeah,
it's the same actor. I think it was kind of like in Gen V too. I don't want to say that in case anybody hasn't and hasn't caught up. But when the actor is cast for something and you can see it in their eyes, you figure it out.
You kind of know. He ends up taking down the guards. He then takes down all of the other kids except 11 in the same way that Vecna does. And then this is when Elle walks in. Vecna asks Nancy if Victor missed him. We get another 1950s flashback. We see Henry's number one, and plot twist, he's also Vecna. As Vecna shows Nancy, we hear number one tell Elle about his love for the spiders in the house and his hate for humanity. So he made his own rules, reached inside, killed the animals, saw people's secrets, and the awful things that they have done. The mom wanted to get him help, lock him up, so he then kills her, and also his sister as he was trying to kill his dad. He pushed too strong, passed out. Woke up from the coma to meet Dr. Brenner, aka Papa. Papa then created more test subjects, and number one tells Elle that all of those dead people are with him.
It reminded me of Amara. They're not dead. They're in here.
I am
pretty sure they're dead.
All right. Okay. Daisy Ridley, like whatever, I guess. Number 1 and 11 face off. Elle throws him across the room. Ooh, it's getting spicy. As she remembers and her powers come back stronger. Yeah. She sends a number 1 to the upside down. Take us to the penultimate chapter. Number 8.
Can you hear me? Chapter 8, Papa. Papa walks in asking, Elle, what have you done? And she passes out. Nancy is now in the Hawkins lab when Vecna killed all the kids. So Nancy is now experiencing the memory, quote unquote, kind of firsthand. Vecna tells Nancy he wants her to tell 11 everything. He then sends her back to reality. Snap back to reality. There's a lot of good setups for songs in this podcast today. Nancy explains that Vecna showed her things that haven't happened, including Hawkins with the dark cloud and soldiers and monsters and her family dead. And he showed her 4 gates in Hawkins. And Max says the clock always chimes 4 times. That means he's only 1 kill away. Meanwhile, at the prison, Hopper, Joyce, Murray, Enzo, and crazy-ass Yuri, who's still tied up, escaped Shawshank style. So they crawl through a tunnel. Surfer Boy Pizza Boys are struggling. So Mike's struggling with his relationship with Elle because he thinks Elle is way more special than him.
Bro,
Will
Mike,
shows him...
Not the time, dude.
No, well, I mean, they had like a 9-hour drive from Susie's, so they had plenty of time.
Not the time, dude.
This was a really, really, really sad moment that
Okay, but
ends up
it's
being
also,
a
is
really
this where the
sweet
season
moment.
where it's revealed that Susie is in like that big crazy house of hers
Yeah,
where
that's what I made the comment about homeschool kids. When like
Oh,
the
yeah.
one kid's like doing like the
Oof.
theater and dying,
Uh,
and the other kid
oh,
keeps turning
yeah,
the
you're right,
power
sorry,
off, and yeah.
it clicked.
But Susie is a certified
I'm
genius.
also talking about the gang initiation that Josh and I have for our scooter gang, sorry.
And the cold plunges you're gonna take right into the
We
sauna.
actually decided that, yes, we're gonna use the cold
Are you
plunge.
texting Josh right now about saunas and cold plunges? That wouldn't
In our
surprise
scooter
me.
gang. Actually, yes, I am. We decided that to join our gang, you have to do a cold plunge, do an obstacle course on the scooter, and then get in the sauna, and only the strongest can survive. So unfortunately, Lauren and Carrie, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
We are the strongest link because we're going to choose not to do it so we can continue to raise our children after our husbands are gone. Carrie and I will share a drink and watch your dumbasses.
That's right. That's right. You probably will.
All right, where were we? Server boy pizzas. Okay, so Mike's struggling with the relationship, which is understandable. As a guy,
They're also
you have to take
teenagers,
care.
man. Come on, yeah.
There are grown-ass men who do this crap too. But it's very sweet because he's trying to find the value in the relationship to him. And Will handles it beautifully. He's like, look, Elle made me draw this or asked for this painting. She basically commissioned it. And Will's a great artist. And he's like, look, Elle made you the leader, Mike. You're the guy in the front. Yeah. Jonathan's watching this go by in the mirror because he realizes what Mike is, or what Will's saying to Mike about Elle is how Will's feeling about Mike. So it's a very actual sweet moment. Yes.
Man. Will
we do
is
get to a
very
moment in a
emotional
little
about
bit.
this. It is cute.
Yeah. Keep in mind, this is the 80s. Like, being gay was like
even Robin coming out to Steve was like a big moment. And so like Will is essentially coming out, and that's a big moment.
But this was when the AIDS stuff was going on, when
it really
gay people were having to, they said we had to bury ourselves kind of thing. Super, like, just think of what was going on then. Like, that's got to be hard even today. But to do this in the 80s, like, it's terrible.
Coming out in 2025 is really hard, but in the 80s, I can't even begin to imagine.
Right. And and everything Will's going through anyways, dude, the freaking kid
Will has been kidnapped and pulled and all sorts of stuff. And on top of that, his best friend is somebody he's in love with. And honestly, the poor kid really is going through it in this series. I do hope he's one that comes out on top in the end.
Yeah. There's a couple times rewatching this season that I forgot how emotional it was, and I teared up. And one of them is when Jonathan addresses this scene in a little bit. So Elle comes to, and she's got her powers back. She lifts Nina with her mind, which is like, I don't remember how much I said, but it was really heavy. Papa updates Elle on the memory and tells her when she woke up, she had forgotten and her memories had gotten lost when she woke up after Vecna had killed all those kids. So she got her powers back, but Elle also opened up the first glimpse of the Upside Down when she sent Vecna away. So that's what happened. She used all those powers, sent Vecna away, and then passed out. When she wakes up, she had forgotten all of that. So what she's been getting are these pieces of memories, and she's filling them in on her own, assuming she killed everybody when she didn't. So Papa always thought Henry was there, but wasn't sure until Chrissy and the other deaths occurred. Like, he assumed Henry was in the Upside Down and still alive, but wasn't positive. Now he is. Papa tells Elle her friends are in danger, and every death makes Vecna stronger. Elle then goes to kind of meditate, and she can see her friends are trying to get a hold of Elle, Mike, Will, and Jonathan, because they're calling and the signal's busy. Those other guys like took the phone off the ringer or whatever. So Dustin says Elle is always vulnerable when she travels via her mind. So next time Vecna attacks virtually, they should attack him physically. So they come up with a plan. It's not bad. Elle sees Max as the next victim, and Owen says we need to let Elle go home and help. And he calls someone to keep an eye on Max, but the line gets cut off, and suddenly Papa's back in charge. See, this is why I love Owens. He really is always trying to help. He's trying to save the world, and he's trying to help Elle. And not letting Elle, and so Papa's not letting Elle leave either. And like Owens was like, we agreed this wasn't going to be a prison. We were going to let her leave. And Papa's like, she's not ready. And Owens is like, it doesn't really matter. It's her choice. Then the bad military people do show up and they break in. Papa tries to escape with Elle. You're giving me a thumbs down and I don't know what it is, but so Papa tries to escape with Elle because they think she's dangerous and they kill.
Boo the bad guys. Sorry.
Oh, you're booing the bad guys. That makes sense. Okay. So yeah, they think Elle's dangerous and she's the one that's killing everybody. So they want to kill her. Now, Papa is protecting her because he does want to protect her, but he ends up getting shot. Owens offers the bad people. He's like, look, don't kill Elle. I can put her into a coma instead of killing her. And if the killings continue while she's unconscious, then you'll know it's not her. But the military mean people are like, no, we're not doing that.
Military
They give the okay to shoot her. So the surfer boys catch up right as Ella is about to be shot, but she actually takes the plane down on her own, and then her and Mike hug. As Papa dies, he undoes the collar that they had put on her to control her. Kind of reminded me of like a mutant dampener.
That's exactly what I was thinking of. Yes.
So she ends up, and Papa does tell her that he is proud of her. So she has her moment with him. You know, you still want that approval of that abusive parent. And then she leaves with the boys, and she's adamant they go straight to Hawkins. Meanwhile, in a Michael Myers mask, Eddie hotwires an RV, and all of the current Hawkins crew go to get some weapons to kill Vecna, which is very cute because it's a nod to Max was Michael Myers for Halloween. And he asked Max, do you have any sort of mask or something? And that's what she gives him. So off to Vecna's they go to try.
Finale, here we go. Oh man, I have to.
Oh, and you hate this phrase too.
I gotta do it. So the piggyback. Now, the Russian crew is trying to fly back to America with crazy ass Yuri and his tiny virgin plane.
That shit crazy ass Yuri, you might say.
Yes. While waiting, he gets a hold of one of the people that was helping Owen. She gives Hopper an update that the doc has Elle and the other kids, and Elle is off to Hawkins to fight some sort of evil. Joyce suggests that they hurt the hive mind in Russia to help the kids out. This means going back to the prison that they just broke out of course. By the time they get back, Demogorgons and Demodogs and Doug Dimmadome, the owner of Dubsdale Dimmadome, all of that have taken over the prison.
It's taken over. It's not so a good
now
look for them.
The kill Vecna plan is in motion at this point in Hawkins. Elle and the Surfer Boys cannot get there quick enough, so Elle decides to fight Vecna from where she is on another level, off to a Surfer Boy pizza to get a sensory tank going. Now, Jonathan takes a moment to let Will know he will always be there for him no matter what.
That was the moment that was following that up. It was super cute. They then hug. Will cries. He's like, you're my brother. There's nothing in the world that would change that. I will always be there for you.
First time they really had that like moment together too.
Yes.
Older brother
got to come out without having to come out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that was a definite tearjerker moment.
The tank is ready now. Elle sees Max try to lure Vecna out by saying that he was right that she wanted Billy to die. Vecna has Max. Elle is now in a good memory of Max's. Next step, lure away the freaking bats. Great scene because Eddie starts to play Master of Puppets by Metallica.
Where they say like most metal concert ever.
Honestly, it's a really well shot.
Didn't Metallica even like come out and like they were like, hell yeah.
Yeah, they did. Oh, it's a great scene. Like, dude, this scene is awesome. Unfortunately, right then the D-bag basketball player shows up near Erica. Max gets herself into a good memory with Lucas at the dance.
The snowball dance.
While Max is in a trance, the top douchebag walks in, threatens Lucas with a gun.
Never even learned his name.
To wake up Max, and ends up stepping on her Walkman, which is playing Running Up That Hill.
Kind of relevant. Well, they were saving it to hit play for when because they intentionally got her into the trance. They were waiting to hit play when they needed to get her out. And the D-bag guy was like, wake her up now. Like he thought he was doing good.
He was not. Now, another grabs Erica. They all fight back. Steve, Robin, and Nancy are now all tentacled to the walls, and Eddie and Dustin are in the trailer, and the bats are closing in. Dustin makes it back to the real world. Eddie's not running this time, man. He's going to buy them more time. He grabs a guitar. He hops on a bike. Now, Vecna goes to attack Max. Elle shows up and pulls him back. This is when the big fight goes down. Vecna has Elle and Max, which Elle tells Vecna that Papa is dead. He doesn't care. He blames Elle for his situation, not Papa. Plot twist. He then explains that he saw the smoke and created the mind flayer. It was always Vecna. It was me, Austin. Or if you're earbard Thon, it was me all along. You're sad that your mom died. Yes. He just needed somebody to open the door. Elle was that person. Max has started to rise. Elle starts to choke. Max talks to Elle to give her strength. He loves her. Mike, you're right. I'm sorry. Too many M's. I'm sucked in, man. Max is rising. Elle is getting, and Mike's like, I love you.
Like, I'm here. Well, because there was also letters back and forth. And at the beginning of the season, Elle had been like, you never write your letters, love Mike. It's always from Mike. And so that was an issue. He's like, I love you. I love you. I love you. Remember,
Thunderbolts. This is how you do love.
Oh, yeah. You're reading my notes now.
Let's give it up for love. Let's give it up for, and as the wise Mark Hoppus said in the Mark, Tom, and Travis, so love. Let's give it up for love, everybody. Not Hallmark BS. What do you mean by that? That's love.
You know, I probably should have taken the finale.
Really fun TikToks about the guy who was left by the Hallmark girl. Oh, hilarious.
Oh, I have seen some of those. Those are pretty good, yeah. Now, he's like, I had a pretty good year this year, and da-da-da-da. He's like, I took one phone call after 5.
Yeah, I had to take one phone call and to get paid and all. Yeah,
as someone who's married to somebody who works like around the clock, like get over yourself.
He does, but hey, you know what? It allows us to go to Disney and stuff. So I say us, but I mean it allows you, and it allows me to cold plunge and start a cool gang in your garage. So
there you go. Yeah. Prizes, boats, and cold plunges.
Mike tells her to fight.
It's only 7 foot.
To which she does. Max then starts to break. Eddie is getting torn apart by the friggin' bats. Eddie's attacked. Oh man, dude. Ella's attacked again, and Max falls as Lucas catches her.
He does a good job catching her. He did not the first time. The first time they just let her fall.
For a scrawny little man.
This is sad.
Now
he's getting bigger in this. He's in the basketball team. He got the winning shot in the game. Lucas is not a little kid in
Lucas
this.
Is a hooper, man. My bad. I was unfamiliar with his game. Now, the vine stops suffocating Robin, Nancy, and Steve as Murray burns all of the creatures in Russia. Elle has
there was a connection. That was actually kind of cool because they're in Russia and they're burning the stuff and they were helping the kids.
To Russia with love.
So they were getting help from Elle and from the parents and they didn't know it.
Team synergy. Elle has Vecna cornered. Steve, Nancy, and Robin have his actual body. However, Vecna says this is only the beginning of the end and he claims that they've already lost. Hopper has a sword on a Demogorgon. The head is gone. Yuri and Enzo show up with a plane in Russia. Steve Molotov.
Adamantium.
Steve Molotov cocktails Vecna. He then falls and then gets back up. I get knocked down.
But he gets up again.
The three then attacking. Dustin holds Eddie and says, I didn't run away this time, right? He also tells Dustin to look after the other kids. Rest in peace, Eddie. That was a really emotional scene. Sorry.
So when we first watched this originally, we didn't know the finale was going to be 2.5 hours, and I had to go pick Logan up from summer camp, and I came back, and Brielle was crying.
Oh, she watched it without you. That's tough.
She kept going when I left, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And I came back, she's like, Eddie died. I'm like,
Brielle. Oh my God. You know, we almost bought her. There was a Stranger Things vinyl record player today at Target.
She doesn't have a record player.
We almost, yeah. How do we get, I guess we're driving, but we did almost buy her. Anyways, Max wakes up. She cannot feel or see anything. Elle is still with Max and Lucas, but in the other dimension. The house in the real world cracks in half by the upside down and cuts the douchebag guy in half. Slap!
That was creepy. That goes through and you see like his skeleton like rip apart and he's screaming. Oh,
it gets worse.
Well, maybe he did deserve it.
He kind of deserved it. Unintentionally. Like he had good intentions, but he really.
I feel like he just needed like a Nancy in his life. He didn't need that.
A little too much, my brother. Now, Hawkins is getting split up all over the place. Elle seems to be force healing Max, which is crazy. And now 2 days later, as many leave Hawkins because everything's just crazy, the Surfer Boys enter and everybody's calling an earthquake. In Indiana, come on, bro. Now, the news says people think a satanic cult led by Eddie opened a doorway to hell. Satanic panic, anybody? The Surfer Boys and Hawkins, the crew, they all reunite. Lucas is at the hospital with Max, who's in a coma with a lot of casts. Now, Elle tries to reach out to her on the other level. However, there's no luck. And as the town puts itself back together, Dustin gives Eddie's uncle some peace and closure. It's very emotional because
this was
his uncle. It was the whole thing.
Moment for sure.
Robin ends up flirting with the girl she likes, and Jonathan and Nancy are awkward, of course, as Argyle picks mushrooms. They fix up the cabin to hide Elle, and Will tells Mike now that he's in Hawkins. He can sense one Henry, one Vecna. So do with that information as you will. Now, Hopper and Joyce arrive at the cabin. Reunions. We're all happy. Yay. Woohoo. Unfortunately, Will feels a shiver up his spine. Oh, me spine, me hearties. And the sky turns dark, the right side up. And
the right side up starts looking like the upside down. Like Holly goes, it's snowing.
Hell on Earth. As we enter the final season of Stranger Things, everything is crazy. Vecna's not really gone. Hawkins is not splitting apart, and everything is something not so chill happened, my dudes.
I will say, like, going through and like I did not rewatch 1, 2, and 3. Brielle's watching 1, 2, and 3, and I'm like, well, I don't have time. I have to rewatch 4. So I rewatched all of 4, and then I reread our notes from 1 through 3. And what's so cool about doing that with a show like this or like Supernatural, you realize how much consistency there is. Like with Will having that chill up his spine at the very end of the season, they did that in another season, because he's more connected to the Upside Down, I feel like, than Elle is.
Yeah.
Because he spent more time there than she did. So it's, there's a lot of things you only realize when you rewatch something. You can't pick up the foreshadowing, and two, you just can't remember everything.
Well, I mean, there is a lot. It's really hard too with Stranger Things because the seasons are so broken up, right? It's really hard because of how far in between they are. But I will say the trailer for this season, the kids looked they de-aged very well. The kids looked the appropriate age. I thought they did a good job with that.
Did they de-age them with computers?
I don't know if they de-aged them with the computers, but I will say in the trailer, like they did a good job of making them look like high school kids still. It's just, it's hard because the series started
pretty young in the last
one. 10 years, but teenagers, they went from, adolescents to now they're adults. Like Millie Bobby Brown has a kid and she's married to Bon Jovi.
21.
So like it's very hard. But I think so far from the trailer, they did a really good job. I would love to hear though, who do you think's going to die? Who's not making out of this series alive?
Well, for one, so I watched one of the trailers, but I think I watched the teaser trailer. So is Max in the teaser trailer or in the trailer?
I didn't see Max, but I almost feel like if they were going to kill Max, they should have done it here at the end of the season instead of putting her in a coma. It wouldn't really make sense to put her in a coma and then end up killing her, I guess.
I agree, but at the same time, Elle went into, she did the meditating thing in the hospital and tried to reach Max on another plane, and Max wasn't there.
I feel like one of the kids is dying. One of the majors.
I don't know. Everyone says
Steve might die. Well, that's because it's like, who do you pick, right? Like Steve Will and 11 are going to live happily ever after. Dustin and Susie, and then Lucas and Will can't die. Will's been through enough. I almost think Jonathan might die.
I don't
know why. Jonathan die. Or Hopper.
It wouldn't be fair to Joyce. She spends all this time trying to save
happily ever after. I don't think this is going to end up completely happily ever after.
I don't know.
You're right. It's really hard to pick because you don't want anybody to die because it doesn't make sense, which means it's going to hurt that much more.
Maybe it'll be Nancy. And then Jonathan and Steve will become best friends bonding over their...
Oh my God. And they just raise their kids together.
Then they become a couple and raise all the kids together.
And then Erica...
different kind of happy ending. I like
parents are raising them. It's Will and Erica and all of them being raised. I don't know. I can't pick who's going to die.
And then they go off in the RV together. Aw. There's your happy ending.
Now, is 11 going to end up with powers at the end, or is she going to end up losing her powers?
I kind of hope she keeps the powers just because they've had more than one time where they've that would just be repeating the same.
Yeah.
And you would know that, what are they going to end up like Magneto playing chess, moving the piece a little because the powers aren't going to be gone forever.
Magneto, I'm good. I'm bad. I'm good. I'm bad. Which am I?
What is the safe in trouble? Safe in trouble. What is that from?
I don't remember, but I don't know how this could play out. I genuinely have no idea.
Maybe Will and Grace. Might be Will and Grace.
There's a theory what happened. What do you do if this all turns out to be some D&D game in the basement? That's not going to happen.
It was all a dream.
No, I do feel like somebody major has to die. The Duffer Brothers have to kill somebody. I just don't know who.
Maybe
and I hope it's not Dustin
show
and
up
Steve
at the end and save them all.
Yeah.
I really don't want them to kill Steve. I really don't. And I think
I hope Dustin and Steve make it out alive, okay? I want those two at least to make it alive.
I think they're expecting it, so I feel like they can't do it because they're expecting it. But if Dustin survives and they kill Steve, that's extra not fair because they already killed Eddie, and that was already Eddie and
Dustin's boy. He became close to because he joined.
Those were his two role models.
Yeah, agreed. I feel like that would make sense. Max, I feel like they should have killed if they were going to kill her. So I genuinely don't know.
I do think you're right. I think they have to kill somebody from season 1, and Max wasn't in season 1.
I just hate that. My only big complaint is that they're releasing these on Thanksgiving,
holidays,
Christmas, New Year's.
Crying over your turkey.
But I don't know if I'm going to watch them at that exact time because
the first part comes out Wednesday night.
Oh, well, that's good news. So that means I don't have to. Okay, first, but then the other one's New Year's Eve. And then Christmas, and so that's kind of hard to do.
Right, and this isn't a Doctor Who's feel-good special. What are you doing, man?
Unless if you're going to end it on New Year's Eve, then it better be. But there's also college football playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were doing with that.
With Will Ferrell, while he's trying to drink a cup of wine and he's shaking in his chair.
It's Wedding Crashers. It's Wedding Crashers because
is it Wedding Crashers?
Yeah, because he's in that.
I thought it was the one where he sells all his furniture on the lawn because he's getting
or is it Old School? It's Old School then. No, you're right. It's Old School. I'm sorry. It's Old School.
No, that's not. No, there's a different movie where he's getting divorced.
Yeah, he's Frank the Tank because he goes Frank the Tank again.
No, I'm very aware of Old School. He was thinking about her panties. Were they classic white or they, I thought we were in the safe zone.
If it's not Old School or Wedding Crashers, I thought it was Wedding Crashers would be the only other.
I could be wrong, but there's a movie where he's selling all his furniture on the front lawn. And then I thought he was, and I could 100% be wrong. It could be either of those. I also can't remember where Safe and Trouble got it. And Matt's Googling it with his one eye. But I feel like that's going to be all of us on New Year's, like trying to drink our champagne. Not that I drink champagne, and like being like, oh, Steve died. A couple people, was it the high?
Oh, it's Get Hard. Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, the one where he goes to jail and Kevin Hart like preps him for jail.
The scene with Will Ferrell sobbing over a glass of wine is from the movie Get Hard in 2015, where his character James King is in a massage chair and spills the wine on himself. That's the one where he's
selling his furniture on the front lawn because he's going to jail.
Kevin Hart. I don't know. I didn't watch that movie. That movie looked so ass, dude. I'm gonna be honest.
I watched it once. I
did not watch it.
It's really silly and not silly in a fun way.
Anyways, that's our Stranger Things recap. It's Christmas time. Yay. Our live show, we're going to do our second annual Christmas extravaganza, December 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be live.
Last year. I will be changing my headpieces every chance I get again.
Going to have to really put forth our best foot because I didn't even realize December was like next week. So I guess I should really lock in because 2 days later, I drive down to Lauren. I hop on a Disney Mickey cruise and then Lauren's probably going to really hate me next year because I'm buying annual passes. So
I was like, why am I going to hate you?
She's going to see a lot of us next year. But yeah, that's our Stranger Things recap. Do you have any anything before we wrap this up?
No, I don't know. No, yes, I have a lot of thoughts.
We'll do a Stranger Things wrap up, of course, in January.
Yeah.
But this one was long. I appreciate you guys for hanging around. Don't kill Steve. Don't kill Dustin. Anybody else? We'll see. I feel like Joyce and Hopper deserve it to be like together as well.
I think it would make sense for Joyce to die. I'd rather Joyce die than Jonathan or Will. I don't want to see a child die and the parent have to watch it.
They're not child anymore.
You know who we should sacrifice? Let's just sacrifice Mike and Nancy's dad.
Actually, I feel like Murray might die. Murray might be the one to sacrifice himself.
That would be sad. I could totally see him doing that.
I could see it because it would be sad at the same time because of how endeared we've become to Murray. I guess we're going to find out. So
you'd go out like Randy Quaid style in Independence Day.
I'm back. And poor Randy Quaid is off the deep end these days. So yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for hanging out. We will see you with some Christmas stuff starting next week. Kat's going to be joining us for some Santa Claus 2 action. We're going to be going live and lots of good Christmas fun. So we will see you soon, whether it's in the upside down, whether it's in the right side up, doesn't matter. We'll see you. Yeah. Cheers.